First, let's start with a little wake-up call here. Who has Bitcoin? Raise your hand. Pretty much everyone. Okay, who has Swissborg tokens? Raise your hand. Okay, that's quite good. So for those who don't have Bitcoins or don't have Swissborg tokens, download our app and make it happen. That'll be a great choice for today. The planet needs heroes. And I think so through these two different talks we just had is that in order to get to where we want, you always have to think about what's the difference someone ordinary and someone that is extraordinary, right? Is that really small extra? And that's the thing you guys really always have to focus. Now, for DAOs, who believes in DAOs? Raise your hand. Okay, so in the room here, everyone believes a decentralized autonomous organization could happen. But if now I tell you, who has ever voted or took any initiative in a DAO on a smart contract basis, not through a meetup, that voted on the blockchain for an initiative attack? Raise your hand. Less than 10 people. And to get to back what Bill was saying is that sometimes it's extremely hard to figure out if this piece of code is more interesting than another piece of code. And in this presentation, I'm not going to tell you how we're going to solve this problem, but at least we're going to go through some examples. First, why do we believe that we want to be part of DAOs? Well, at Swissborg, if you look at this Maslow hierarchy, and most of it goes with crypto in general, what do we want? And first, we get into crypto because we want to earn to the moon, right? Or earn to Mars or doing something. You have this, thing of like, I'm going to be rich, right? And I'm going to be super cool and I'm going to be in this thing, right? Then after, what happens very often is you want to have fun. We all want to have fun, and more importantly in crypto. We see at this conference, there was a great party last night. We're going to a boat right after. Not all the conferences in the world really have that. Then you want to be part of a team. You want to be part of that Bitcoin team. You want to be part of the Polkadot team. You want to be part of the Partizia team. You really have that thing of like that football thing going on, right? More importantly, you have that big social proof, right? If today I'm wearing my, my Swissborg hoodie, or at the same time these Pride Month super cool shoes, is because I want to have that social proof and say I'm part of that movement. And the last thing is, why do we want to be part of all this new evolution of this new hero mindset? Is to be part really of the future. And I think so that's why everyone today is here listening. But now if we go at the DAO paradise, I don't know why you're not on it, by the way. You should be on it. But Polkadot should definitely be on it. But this is pretty much what we have today. So we all know, you guys probably know what BitDAO is, right? So BitDAO is the DAO of like the biggest whales dudes who have shitload of cash got to take together and say, let's make a decentralized autonomous organization regarding VCs. It's a smart thing. It's saying like, okay, instead of Peter Thiel going through these private deals, why not we all go together with a super powerful people and try to decide what's the fate of the best investments we could do, right? If we look at the other guys like Uniswap, Aave, Lido, all of these guys are pretty much DeFi players, right? And then if you could go down to the list, you have different applications. And again, I don't know why there's not more protocols. I think so this is maybe probably DAOs only based on Ethereum, I would say, probably on most of them. That's why maybe. But what we see as well is that very often the members of these DAOs are quite small. On Uniswap it's not the case. On Aave it's not the case. But on most of them it's very, very, very small. And the main problem is that it's very hard to have participation in these DAOs. And very often, rather they're very too technical, or they don't bring enough subjects. Like meaning me as a small staker in the project, if I only have 0.0001%, what is my vote really going to do? Well, at Swissborg, since our ICO, we did an ICO in 2017, finished in 2018, we always believed in this decentralized movement. And if today you're working within a blockchain project that has a token and doesn't have a DAO, that probably means you're doing the wrong thing. you have to have a DAO, because a DAO eventually is really the best tool to have a decentralized governance, right? So what did we do? So from our ICO, we had a bounty platform. For those who don't know what it is, it's like, how can you find really cool players within the community that wants to mint your tokens but don't have enough cash probably, or just people that want more extra work and love your thing, and they're going to do a lot of things. So that's a lot of moderation, that's a lot of social media things, and we did that during ICO. It went well. 2% of our whole tokens went essentially to different people that had these bounties. Then 2018 happened. We did different vote on the blockchain. That was great. We had actually 15,000 people voting. The reason why they were potentially being interested in by voting back then is because we were actually paying these people as well. So that maybe was a great way to incentivize people, is that whatever you're voting, what side, it didn't matter. We were giving you an airdrop on that. We got to create a DAO with different members, and we tried to essentially build up the whole entire process. We got to this. This was the last platform that today doesn't exist anymore, which is that we said, okay, what is our mission at Swissborg? It's to democratize wealth management by making it fun, fair, and community-centric. The community part is easy with the DAO. The fun parts, the fair part was already our app where you could buy, sell crypto, do DeFi in the best way. Everything's transparent about it. And we wanted to bring a fun way that our community could do. So it was an app where you could essentially get to on it. You would do different missions. You would be able to pass few initiatives, and essentially you would be able to earn, okay? Earn and learn. That was pretty much what it is. And we were always thinking to do that in order essentially to give a digital identification. That digital identification then could potentially give you other rights going forward. And we're all trying to do a DAO. The best DAO that exists in the world today, it's this country. This is a DAO. If people don't believe in it, it's exactly this. Bill just said earlier in a very smart way, you don't want a president. Switzerland, we don't have a president. I mean, we do, but we don't really, actually, right? Hope there's no diplomats here, because they're really cool. I like them, and I love Switzerland. I'm Swiss. Don't take me out, guys, okay? But you guys probably know how it works in Switzerland. For those who don't know how it works, this is how it works, right? You have the people that we vote for the laws, and then you have the government that essentially passes these laws and make these laws happen, right? So you have the federal court that enforce the laws, you have the parliaments that essentially make the laws, and then the government that acts, right? So the federal council is 6 people, there's 1 president, to change every 6 or 7, I forgot. 6? 7, sorry about that. It's 7 every year. There's a turnover, a new president that happens. He has his very fun year, and then he passes over to the next person to make sure that every social party has its say, from UDC to communist. It doesn't matter. It just really doesn't matter. Just make sure there's enough colors, and we don't in any way we have any political decisions, right? But then the laws. Who really passes the laws? Well, any of us, right? Any of us could go in the streets, collect 10,000 or 100,000 signatures if you want to go on a communal level, or if you want to go on the federal level. So it's pretty much exactly what's happening here. Is the DAO is here. The DAO of Switzerland has been the proof. For those who are in Zug, there's people from Zug here. Raise your hand. Did you guys vote for the house? Are we buying the house or not? You saw the voting last week? No? For those, okay, we were about to buy a house for 65 million Swiss francs. I hope we buy it. It's a very nice place. So hopefully we'll have some barbecues over there, or if not, not. But that's pretty much what initiatives in Switzerland, right? People wanted to buy this house within the commune of Zug, said, okay, I got the votes, 10,000. That was enough. And now are we buying it? Well, people will vote on it, right? So what we thought at Swissborg, it says, okay, well, the thing is already done. So we're called Swissborg. Should we need to do something else than what has been done in Switzerland? No. So we said, okay, let's organize a Conseil National, so the National Council, and let's make sure we represent this in the fairest way, right? So first, who do you please? First, the biggest token holders, obviously. So we create a group with 50 biggest token holders. Then we start to reward the people that were the biggest DAO contributors, the people that passed initiatives, people that do the bounties back in the past. So these were not like the richest people or the people who had the most tokens, actually the people who loved us the most, right? And then we continued. We had people within the app. We had one just on women because we really want to make sure that women are actually within our network. So I think we reserved 50 seats for women. And then we started with employees and things gone on and on and on and on. Long story short, we got to create this national council. And this national council, the goal was to say, okay, whatever you guys think is the best initiative, we let you decide. And the whole national council is like, oh, we want a desktop version out of Swissborg app. And other people like, oh, we want you to do cross-chain things. And then we want you to do that and that and that. And then we're bringing all this information to the product teams and to the tech teams. And they're realizing, they're like, dude, this is like, it's never gonna happen. I mean, how do you want me to do this cross-chain thing? I mean, this is not, yeah, but I think so national councils will really be happy. Can we do this on a time framework? Then we're trying to limit more and more the national council and say, oh, you're allowed to propose this type of initiatives, but not that. And then the more we're going down this rabbit hole, the more we realize that, unfortunately, it's not possible. You cannot let your old token holders decide the fate of where you're positioning yourself, right? It has to be really done. So we said to all our national council, we're sorry guys, we have to make a little pause and let's maybe do a same deal, quite similar, but on a very small scope. Because if you think on a smaller scope, then you could iterate, you could grow a little bit more and scale that model. So at Swissborg, we've been, quite vocal about the fact that we need to eventually change this plan. I think so now, better than everything, Web3 has to get involved in a lot of different things. We know with global warming, there's a lot of shit happening. We know on a social governance with the war and a lot of different things, we're heading towards a very, very sad trajectory to the earth. So we said, okay, why not create a new DAO that could have an identity again, because I think so that's the same thing we're trying to prove on the blockchain, is how to have an identity and how to build this real meritocracy around it. We said, okay, based on what we're going to be launching very soon is the ESG index at Swissborg. So all the tokens right now, we're trying to scan them and see if they bring value on an environmental level, if they bring it on a social governance level as well. And let's make a basket of it where people could start investing. And more importantly, we said, okay, we know that there's this NFT thing going on, and NFT, what it is at the end is that identity that you're buying the Web3, right? It's how to essentially accrue an image to yourself that gives your Web3 soul to some extent, right? The idea here was to say with this new identity, this new mint, is say, okay, I'm going to mint different NFTs. These NFTs are going to represent environment, social governance. There's other really cool stuff that will be attached to it. And what about the revenues? What about the revenues that are made within this minting and this trading, the activity that goes with its NFTs? Why not give all of that money towards a DAO, and that DAO could invest then only on different ESG topics? And like, let's say if tomorrow, for example, they want to invest into Sweatcoin, right? And we could get, a nice deal there because we think it's a great thing and we believe it's EJ compliant. Why not with all this treasury, they could start to buy into these tokens, and based on how many NFTs you have, you essentially are parts of that beautiful DAO, and that DAO could then take it for them or keep it on their balance. And I think so this is exactly where we believe we'll be heading actually in the very near future. So if you guys are interested, be participating to this minting, you know what to do, guys. Scan this beautiful QR code, and hopefully you'll be able to essentially be part of this super cool minting and be part of the Swissborg DAO, really reserved for ESG investments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Without further ado, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of Swissborg, always here to serve you. Thank you.